everybody. I'm Jonathan Randall, and welcome to another episode of How You Like Me Now. Hope everybody had a very happy Rosh Hashanna, and your new year is off to a sweet start. I made a feast, and I am still stuffed from it. I had all the classics: apple and honey, around challah, gefilte fish, matzo ball soup, and brisket, which was totally way too much food for me. I cooked for the family I want to have, not for the single guy that I am. So much food. I wonder if that's why Yom Kippur is really just a week after Rosh Hashanah, because people pigged out so much during the holiday, and then on all the leftovers the days after the holiday, that they need a day of not eating to really digest it all. Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, is coming up, where you fast for one day and you get all your sins for the last year forgiven. So get those sins in this week while you can. Speaking of feasts, I have survived the first half of San Gennaro. That's right, like my Jewish people, I'm a survivor. One of the worst parts of San Gennaro has to be the people who work at it, half of which look like their diet consists of Mountain Dew and meth. They come to the neighborhood for 10 days and act like they own the place with absolutely zero consideration for the people that actually live there. I'm sure they wouldn't be too happy if I went right outside the trailer they live in and acted like an entitled jackass for 10 days. I feel like San Gennaro could easily be a horror movie where a bunch of carnies take over a neighborhood. I'm sure A24 will produce something like that really soon, starring Nicolas Cage as a deranged carny. You know, San Gennaro has also really reminded me of my hatred for motorcycles. Yeah. Could someone please make a quiet motorcycle? I feel like that would be really good for everyone. Isn't it annoying to people who are riding on motorcycles because it is so loud? I mean, I think it's too loud to drive in a car on the highway with the windows down. How do people ride around on these noise machines all day and not go deaf? Do people that ride loud motorcycles even realize that they're pretty much disturbing everyone they ride by? We need quiet motorcycles. Elon Musk needs to get on that right away, because we need to get rid of the ridiculous amount of noise pollution that motorcycles make. Come on, Elon. Take a break from X, the platform formerly known as Twitter. That's how people refer to it now, like it's fucking Prince. You know, when it comes to motorcycles, you rarely just see one. It's really just one person driving. They like to travel in groups, which makes it even louder. Is that why they're in gangs or packs? Because if there's only one of them, people would confront them for being so fucking annoyingly loud. But in a group, people are way too intimidated to do so. Motorcycles, in my opinion, are even more annoying than they are dangerous. Are there loudness restrictions on motorcycles? Because if not, there really needs to be. Chances are, if you drive a motorcycle though, I'm guessing that consideration for others really isn't one of your priorities. Anyways, let's add motorcycles to the list of things I really don't like. Yeah, apparently my hell is dogs on motorcycles at San Gennaro. So, over the weekend, the UN voted to list some prehistoric ruins in the West Bank as a World Heritage Site in Palestine, which you can imagine pissed off Israel since they don't want to recognize a Palestinian state. The site, which is outside of the city Jericho, is called Tel Es Sultan and is it's older than the pyramids. It's the oldest fortified city in the world, and it has now become the 4th heritage site in Palestine. Hopefully, it'll help strengthen Palestinian identity and give Palestine more international recognition. Speaking of recognition, it seems that Saudi Arabia has stopped efforts to normalize relations with Israel because of Netanyahu and his extremist government refusing to make concessions to Palestinians. Israel and the US are denying that this is the case, But it seems that Saudi Arabia isn't interested in normalizing relations with Israel unless there is a two-state solution. The Saudi foreign minister said this week that the only way to stop what's happening in Palestine and Israel is with an independent Palestinian state, and that people have lost hope in a two-state solution, and that the plan needs to return to the forefront. Something that I have advocated for, but I'm not really sure Palestinians or Israelis want that. The United Nations General Assembly had an event this week called the Peace Day Effort, where 30 foreign ministers from Europe and the Middle East unveiled a plan for Palestinian and Israeli peace. At the event, they agreed to create a peace-supporting package that will maximize dividends for Israelis and Palestinians once they reach a peace agreement. This peace initiative is trying to offer incentives to Israel and Palestine for achieving peace, opposed to punishing them for not. Now, many at the event did use it as an opportunity to criticize Israel and its actions in the West Bank, such as settlement construction, settlement violence, demolishing Palestinian homes, evicting Palestinian families, which are all things Israel shouldn't be doing and are obviously in the way of peace. The U.S. needs to stop giving money to Israel as long as they keep doing these things. It should not just be like Arab countries that are calling out Israel for these actions. It should be the whole world. Ultimately, it'll be up to Palestine and Israel to achieve peace, but these countries are hoping to create incentives so both sides will finally make it happen. Like I said, I'm not really sure either side wants peace. It seems that both sides just wants the other to leave, but that's never gonna happen, and peace really is the only solution. From the river to the sea, Palestine and Israel living in peace and prosperity. I hope that one day both sides will care more about a better future than live in hatred for the actions of the past. If you're not following me on social media, please do, at Jonathan Randall on all platforms. I have 2 new interviews coming out soon on the American Jew podcast. I hope you guys will check those out. Also, please show me some support on my Ko-fi page. I will put the link in the description. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Jonathan Randall. How you like me now?